Karizmatik. Today, we are looking at a fascinating perspective on solitude, friendship, and social standing. We're exploring a source that challenges the modern fear of being alone, using lessons from Stoic philosophy and historical figures like Einstein to reframe having a small social circle not as a weakness, but as a sign of depth and strength. Opening Smoke and Text, Ian.
Hello, everyone.
Warm greetings to you all.
We're really happy to be back with another episode.
At Karizmatik, we truly work around the clock to create content that's useful for you.
More than 50 people contribute with care and precision across our network of channels, so you can have the best possible experience.
If you're enjoying this, please share the video with others.
That small action helps the show reach more people and gives us the energy to keep going better and stronger.
I want to dive right into a scenario that the source material just paints so vividly, because I think everyone listening has felt this at some point. Picture this. It's a Friday night, long week. You're on your couch, the room's quiet, and you pick up your phone. You unlock it, you check your notifications, and there's nothing.
The digital ghost town, yeah.
Exactly. Just total silence. No texts, no where are you messages.
No invites.
And then, just to twist the knife, you open Instagram. And what do you see?
Oh, you see everything. Dinner parties, people clinking glasses, crowded bars.
It was like the whole world is out there living and you're just stuck.
It's such a visceral feeling.
Yeah.
And the source actually identifies that specific moment as a trigger point.
Right.
It's where our brain immediately asks that really dangerous question, what is wrong with me?
Yes. We've been conditioned to think that silence is a symptom of failure. You know, like if you're winning, your phone should be buzzing off the hook.
You should be fighting off invitations.
Yeah.
But today's deep dive, we're going to completely flip that.
Yeah.
We're digging into a presentation, source 038, that argues this silence. It isn't a curse. It might actually be a superpower.
It's a bold claim, for sure, especially today, but the thesis is that a lack of a big social circle isn't a defect.
It's a sign of power.
It suggests if your life is quieter, doesn't mean you're losing. It might just mean you're rare.
I really like that distinction. Rare, not lonely.
Right. Lonely implies something is missing. Rare implies value.
Precisely. And to prove this isn't just some, self-help fluff, the source combines modern psychology with some heavy Stoic philosophy.
It kicks off with a piece of evidence I think everyone knows, but maybe misunderstands. Albert Einstein.
Yeah, seeing Einstein lead the charge here was interesting. We think of him as the genius, but the source zooms in on his social habits.
Or lack thereof.
Right. Einstein famously said that solitude was vital for his work. He wasn't just being antisocial, he was being protective.
So he knew his mind needed, what, silence and time and space to function at that genius level.
Yes. So let's play that out. If Einstein had been trying to keep up with every dinner party,
we might not have the theory of relativity.
It's very possible. The source argues a cluttered social life is a huge drain on your cognitive resources.
So it's an energy management thing? You only have so much bandwidth?
Exactly. He had to disconnect from the crowd to connect with the universe. But the source goes back even further than Einstein.
It roots this whole idea in Stoicism, Marcus Aurelius and Seneca.
Right. And this is where the philosophical foundation gets laid. These guys were writing 2,000 years ago, but they were dealing with the exact same human nature.
I mean, the source quotes Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor,
who said that a person at peace with themselves is never truly alone.
That is a high bar, though, being at peace with yourself. I think most people would rather be at a bad party than sit alone with their thoughts for an hour.
And that's the whole point. Seneca warned about that exact thing. He said it's better to walk alone than to run after a crowd that is.
Heading toward emptiness, that's a haunting phrase.
Isn't it? It implies the crowd isn't going anywhere good. They're just moving so they don't have to stand still.
Which brings us to the first major insight the source breaks down. Depth versus shallow waters.
A crucial metaphor. The source uses that exact phrase. Depth does not survive in shallow waters.
Let's unpack that, because I think a lot of us have felt this. You try to have a real conversation, right? About your future, an idea, something with substance.
And the person across from you their eyes glaze over.
Yes. They shift the topic back to celebrity gossip, or just, killing time. They seem physically uncomfortable with the depth.
And the conversation just dies.
Yeah.
and you walk away feeling awkward, you think, man, am I boring? Am I too
There
intense?
must be bad at socializing.
But the source would stop you right there.
Yeah.
It argues, stop blaming yourself.
Yeah.
This is not a social failure.
It's a frequency
A
mismatch.
frequency mismatch, like trying to tune a radio to a station that isn't there, if you're operating on a frequency of depth and purpose.
You physically cannot resonate in a shallow environment.
Exactly. The source brings back Marcus Aurelius here with that beautiful line. The sun dyes the color of your thoughts.
The sun dyes the color of your thoughts. What does that mean in this context?
It means your environment stains your mind. If your thoughts are dyed with purpose, a superficial gathering will always feel alienating. You're not just bored, you're incompatible.
That explains why some people can make 50 friends in an hour.
Because those friendships are low cost. They require laughter, distraction. They don't require honesty or shared values.
So if you struggle to fit into those groups, it's actually a compliment to your character. You have a higher barrier to entry.
Exactly. You aren't broken. You're just deep. But, and this is the big pivot, realizing that is only step one.
Right. Step 2 is, what do you actually do with that solitude? Because sitting at home feeling superior isn't really a great life strategy.
No, it's not. The source calls solitude a self-improvement gym.
I loved this analogy because the gym isn't always fun, it's work.
It is resistance training for the soul. The source asks a really sharp question. Why are people so terrified of being alone?
Because that's when the inner critic comes out to play. That's when you have to think about your life, your choices.
Precisely. The source argues that people seek crowds not because they love other people, but because they fear themselves. Social interaction becomes a sedative.
Oof. Socializing as a sedative. We use other people to numb our own consciousness.
It's powerful. And here, the source brings in the philosopher Epictetus. He told his students that if they want to progress, they have to be willing to look foolish.
Be willing to look foolish. How does that connect to solitude?
Because the path of growth looks weird from the outside. If everyone else is at the club and you're at home reading or working on a skill or just thinking,
You look antisocial. You look like the loser.
Epictetus says, let them think that. You have to accept the social stigma as the price of admission for the internal reward.
So you have to treat solitude as a skill you're practicing. It's not a punishment.
It's training. You're training yourself to anchor peace inside yourself so you don't need to import it from the outside.
The source draws that contrast so well. The person who needs constant chatter versus the person who can stand in silence and feel complete.
Who is the strong one? It's the one who doesn't need external validation. And that, the source says, is true freedom. Transition spoken text. EN.
Shall we begin?
Let's crush it.
So, we've established that solitude is a gym where we build mental muscle. But the source moves on to a third point that I think really visualizes this trade-off.
Ah, yes.
It uses that old cliche, quality over quantity, but it gives us this very specific image.
The tale of two tables.
Right, table A and table B. Break this down for us because the imagery was so strong.
Okay, so the source asks you to visualize table A. It's this massive banquet table. Maybe 20 people. It's loud. People are shouting over each other.
Laughing at bad jokes, just to be polite.
Yes. It's high energy, high volume. But the source describes those connections as vanishing like wind.
We've all been at that table. You drive home and realize you didn't actually say anything real. You just performed.
Exactly. Now compare that to table B.
Table B is small. Maybe just 2 people, you and one friend.
Right. But at table B, every word is real. You're talking about ideas, fears, dreams, and crucially, and this is the detail I loved, the source says, the silence between them feels safe.
That's the test, isn't it? The silence feels safe. You know you're with a real friend when you don't have to fill the air with noise.
You can just be. And the source asks you, which table would you truly prefer? Deep down, most of us want table B.
But we feel bad that we don't have table A. We feel like we're supposed to have the big entourage because that's what success looks like on social media.
That's just pressure. But the source brings Seneca back in to cut through that noise. His rule was simple. Associate with those who make you better.
And welcome those you can improve. It's a transaction of value, not just being in the same room.
It's mutual elevation.
Yeah.
And so the source reframes your empty contact list. It says a short contact list isn't empty.
It's filtered.
It's filtered. I love that.
It's not that I don't have friends, it's that I have an aggressive spam filter.
That is exactly it. It's a refusal to sell your energy at a discount. A refusal to maintain what the source calls rootless relationships.
One loyal friend provides more illumination than 100 acquaintances.
Is one spotlight versus 100 dim candles. You can actually see where you're going with the spotlight. Mid-roll spoken text. EN.
Thanks for staying with us up to this point. If it's been helpful, send it right now to one person. Your single share really motivates our team.
Okay, I want to pivot to what I think is the most difficult part of this. Because even if you agree with everything we've said, it can still feel incredibly lonely while you're waiting for those deep connections to show up.
That is the hardest part, the waiting room. The gap between realizing you need better friends and actually finding them.
But the source introduces a concept here to help us cope with that waiting. It calls it seasonality.
The right people appear in the right season.
And it uses these beautiful nature metaphors. It says, look, flowers don't bloom in winter, fruit doesn't ripen in a day.
Right, you can't yell at a tree to make it grow an apple faster. But that's exactly what we try to do with friendships. We try to force them. We go to events we hate, talking to people we don't connect with, trying to manufacture a connection.
We want the fruit right now. And the Stoics would say that's a violation of the dichotomy of control. You're trying to force the external world to match your timeline.
You can't control who walks into your life. You can't force someone to value you.
If you try to force a season that hasn't arrived, you just end up frustrated and surrounded by the wrong people.
So if you can't force it, what do? Just sit on the couch and wait for the doorbell to ring?
No. You adopt what the source calls the lighthouse strategy.
The lighthouse strategy. I love this visual.
Think about a lighthouse. Does a lighthouse run up and down the shore chasing boats?
No, that would be terrifying and very ineffective.
It would be ridiculous. A lighthouse stands firm. It builds itself on solid rock. It keeps its light burning. Its only job is to shine its specific light into the dark.
So you focus on being who you are unapologetically. You build your own value. You shine your light.
Yes. And here is the warning the source gives, and this is critical. If you dim your light to fit in with the crowd,
if you act shallow just to get the people at table A to like you,
you are making a catastrophic mistake. Because the people who are actually looking for your light won't be able to find you.
You're camouflaging yourself.
Exactly. If you pretend to be shallow, you will attract shallow people. But if you stand firm, if you keep your light bright, you act as a beacon. The source says depth attracts depth.
But it happens slowly.
It happens slowly. But when that ship finally comes in, it's the right ship.
So let's bring this all together into the final image the source leaves us with. We've talked about the lighthouse, the gym.
Yeah.
Now we have the forge.
The forge of character. Yeah. The source synthesizes everything into this one idea. What does having no friends actually signify right now?
It signifies that you have standards.
Yes. It proves you refuse to waste time on hollow relationships. It proves you know your own value.
It's not that nobody wants to hang out with you, it's that you haven't found anyone worth your time yet.
And that implies a tremendous amount of self-respect. The source describes solitude as the blacksmith's anvil. This is where your resilience, your clarity are hammered into shape.
You're being forged in this fire.
And I really like the point it made about the role of other people when they finally do arrive. We have this fantasy that a friend is going to come along and save us from being alone.
The savior fantasy.
Yes, and the source rejects this. It says when the right people arrive, they won't be saviors of your loneliness. They will be companions to your completeness.
Companions to your completeness. That's a beautiful phrase.
It means they aren't filling a hole in you. You filled that hole yourself back in the gym of solitude. They're just adding to what is already whole.
They won't ask you to shrink.
Never. And that's why it's worth the wait. Those bonds are worth more than, as the source puts it, 1,000 fake names on a list.
So as we wrap up, I want to leave the listener with the final empowerment from the source. It presents a stark choice. It says, "It is better to stand alone with the truth than to sit in a crowd built on lies."
That's the core Stoic challenge. Are you willing to trade truth for comfort? The source says don't do it.
And as for practical advice, what should you do today if you're in that season of solitude?
The source is very clear. Use the season. Don't just endure it. Use it to build the body, expand the mind, nourish the soul. Treat this as an investment period.
You're building the lighthouse.
Exactly. The source video actually ends with a call to action, asking viewers to comment. I prefer quality over quantity. It's a way of publicly committing to this path.
And it serves as a reminder that you aren't the only one out there doing this.
You are rare, but you aren't the only one.
I love that. And here's a final thought to mull over, something the source hinted at. Do not confuse being busy with being full. Just because your calendar is empty doesn't mean your life is. Walk your path with dignity, even if it is quiet. Outro spoken text, EN.
Thanks for being with us to the end. If it helped, hit Like, leave a short comment, and share it with someone who'd enjoy it. Every share helps more people find us. And don't forget to stay subscribed to Karizmatik. The best is yet to come. See you in the next episode. Stay charismatic.
Karizmatik.